Hello crafters, happy Christmas in July. Tonight's going to be our last Christmas card, at least for a little while, and we're going to be using the Piece to You Cling Stamp Set, and we'll make a card for the beginner stamper and one for the casual stamper, and the last card will be for our Avid stamper. Hi, I'm Joan Heberlein, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I created this video for Joan Simple Paper Crafts, found right here on YouTube. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by. And if you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically once a week. Now give me a few seconds and I'll turn the camera down and we can get started. Here's our Christmas card we're going to make tonight. We're going to be using the Piece to You Cling Stamp Set. And we're going to use this die here and this die here, Piece to You at Christmas, and this is going to be the inside sentiment, may God's hope and love shine on you this season. This first card is for the beginner crafter, and we just layer the 3 different pieces. This is the cardstock layer, this is the background layer, and then this is the top layer. And then this would be for the casual stamper, and it is basically the same piece we cut out here, and we raised it up with dimensionals, and then we put our rhinestones on there. And this last one, the same stamp set, but we heat embossed with gold embossing powder. Then we used the gold brushed metallic piece of paper for the background paper. And then again, we finished it off with the rhinestones. So we're going to start with this one here. Let me just get these out of the way for now. So what we want to do first is we're going to take our 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock. We're going to score it at 4 1/4. That would be 10.8 centimeters. And this has already been scored, but I'm just going to burnish it on both sides to get a nice crisp edge. And then we're going to put it in our Stamparatus. And I have it lined up right here. May God's hope and love shine on you this season. And I'm going to put this in here. And I'll put the magnets down, but for right now I just want to see if the placement is right. So I'm going to stamp this up, and we're just going to just check it on here and make sure that it's straight. And that is straight. So then we're going to lift the magnets. I just want to make sure that that is not wet yet, and it's not. So I'm going to lift the magnets up, and we'll put one down here and one right up here. And I'm going to ink this up again. And you don't see how I was inking it. And I'm just going to show you real quickly. Let me just re-ink it for you. And then I'm just going to put it right onto here. I'm not worried about it being on the red rubber. Because of the tool, it won't let it stamp crooked, so we won't get the extra lines there. Very good. We're done with this for right now, so I'm just going to pull this off and clean this off with the chamois. Oh, that's pretty good. I just wet this down with water to clean that off. So I'm going to take this out of here, because the next piece we're going to want to do is our image. And I need to put a tape on this magnet here so I can get it off from here a lot more easily than this is coming off. So our next piece is this piece here. And I'm going to want to put it right here, because if I put it all the way to the edge, it's difficult getting the edge to stamp up properly. So I'm going to put it right here. Because we have that paper there, we'll be able to realign this if we need to come back and stamp again. So I've got it right there. And I'm going to do it on this side now because I don't have enough room above the top and the bottom. And I think I have that crooked, so let me just finish lining that up. Okay, so then our next plate is going to come from the side, and we'll stamp this up. And normally I would have it right here to the right, and then I would stamp it up, and I would have my stamp case right underneath that so that I'd be able to stamp it properly. But I didn't think you'd be able to see it, so that's why I did it. Oh, and I have it way down too low. I didn't finish measuring, so that's okay. We got two sides to the paper. I am going to finish stamping it, so then we've got our image here. And I want that to dry. So we want that to be, okay, so we got that taken care of there. And then we'll lift this one up. And now restamp our pad. And I'm just going to use this eraser to just apply even pressure, because using my hand I may apply it too heavily in one spot versus another. And as I can see, I still need to do some more right on the right hand side, more so than the left. So I'm going to let it lay down, and I will ink that up again. And I stamped the entire stamp on that second time because I didn't want to leave any marks, but I basically did the heavy duty part right here, pressing hard, and then lightly across the rest of that. And there we've got it. And there's a little bit breakup right there. So I do have my dark Night of Navy, or you could use the dark Starry Sky and just touch that up very lightly. I don't have the Starry Sky marker, that's why I'm using the Night of Navy, but it is working. And we're going to take this off and we'll let it dry. And I am going to clean up this stamp again with our chamois. And I want to get all of this off because the next one we're going to come in, we're not going to use the blue. So we want to make sure we've got all the blue taken off from here. It looks like we've got it. So let me just put that aside for right now. So here we have our card. And what we want to do is we want to layer it down. So we've got our Starry Sky Cardstock. And I'm going to use our multi-purpose glue to put this on. You could use our Stampin' Seal or the Stampin' Seal Plus, but I'm going to show you how easily it goes on with the glue. One thing I like about it, the liquid glue gives you a little more wiggle room than the Stampin' Seal and Seal Plus. There's very little wiggle room with the Seal Plus, but the Stampin' Seal isn't quite so bad. So we're going to put this onto our card base. And we're going to leave 1/4 of an inch around all 4 sides. And that'll produce a mat for our card. And I'm going to use my bone folder to just get all the glue bubbles out. And I'm going to do it on the back side as well. That way we get contact paper on paper. And I'm going to close this up because I don't want to put my elbow in it. So we've got that taken care of. Next we're going to put our glue onto this. And we're going to use our multi-purpose glue again. This is almost out, so I'm going to shake it a little bit. And what I do is I keep my multi-purpose glue in this case here. Keeps it upside down, so then there isn't any glue bubbles. It's instant glue once I start opening up and start gluing. And this will give us another 1/4 inch border, so that'll give us a nice mat around the image. And I'm going to take my bone folder again and get rid of the glue bubbles. And I'll do it on the inside as well. So we got one down. So our next card is very much like this one. And I already stamped the inside of the card. May God's hope and love shine on you, because I showed you that when we made the first one. So let me see if I can't get this scored and burnished. And I'm going to burnish it on both sides to give us a nice crisp edge. And so this is how we want it to be. So then this piece, I've already did that as well, because it's the same exact one that we just did. Same side exactly. So we're going to put some dimensionals on that. And I'm going to use the large dimensionals that we have. And we'll put them in the corners. Along the side, in the center, and actually I think I'm going to do the top and bottom as well, because I don't want the post office to mess it up when it goes through the rollers at the post office. It takes about a penny a piece for these dimensionals, so I think it's worth it. And let me get those paper backings off. And I'm going to just use my take your pick tool, and I'm going to put the pick end on there. And I'm just going to put it inside the paper and pull those backings off. And then I just toss them in the bag that I have here. I've got a little garbage can. Kind of keeps them out of the living room. And I said kinda because they keep floating their way in there somehow. So now we have this piece here. And we're just going to center this right on the center portion. So that's going to give us like a 1/2 inch for a border in the white. So it's white on white. So there we go. We have card number 2 done. Let me just put those aside. Card number 3 is a little bit different. Oh, let me go back. We want to put some gems on card number 2. So let's just finish this up before we move on. So we're going to use our iridescent rhinestones. On the first card I used the silver rhinestones, but now we're going to use the iridescent ones. So let's see if we can't figure out how we want to put them on here. I'm going to switch the pick out to have just the flat edge going. And I'm going to put one down here. Maybe one up here. Another one right here. And maybe the third one there. Well, actually that's the fourth one. We'll put one here right up here. So I did it in odd numbers, so I have a total of 5 there. There we go. I think that looks nice. So we got 2 cards done now. One more card. So let's switch over to the third card. So this card, it has the embossing in there. So I'm going to bring back our Stamparatus and we'll emboss this piece first, and then we'll do the inside of the card second. And I've already stamped, so I know that this is where it gets to be positioned. So I'm going to take this and we'll position that right about here. And we'll bring this right up here on the right hand side. And we'll put this on the left hand side. And I'm just going to make sure I've got it in the right place. So let me take a look. Yes, we've got it where we want it to be. So then we're going to take our Versamark and we're going to put the ink on this pad. See if I move this over a little bit, maybe you can see how I'm going to do this. And then we're going to put our gold on there. Here's the Versamark. Sorry if I stuck my head in there, but I'm making sure that we're getting it completely covered. And I am going to press it down. And I'm going to use this to kind of help. And I'm going to do another dose of the ink. This ink in the Versamark doesn't dry as fast as your regular ink, and that's why it works great for embossing. Okay, so I'm going to take this out and I'm going to put some embossing powder on it right away. Hopefully that didn't wreck it, because it doesn't look like it did anything to it. And I'm starting to run low on this embossing powder. I'm just going to tap it off on the back side. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I am going to take our little brush that comes with it. I'm going to brush off all this extra gold embossing powder. And what you just want to do is just clean this up all the way around. And I'm going to do this in fast motion here. I'm going to speed this up. Okay, so now I have this all cleaned up. I'm going to run our heat emboss machine. It's a little bit loud, so I'm going to speed up and I'm going to turn the volume down. When I do this, it'll start getting shinier here, and then it'll spread out toward the top very quickly. So now we're just going to leave this cool off, and we'll stamp the other piece. And it looks like I've got some powder on here, so I'm just going to tap that back into my dish here. other piece is this May God's Hope and Love Shine On This Season. And I'm just going to put this down here so that I can stamp this once I have this back in place. So I'm going to fold this in half first so that I can make sure I got the right side going first. Okay, so this will be our front of our card right here. So we'll open it up and this will be the inside of the card. And we don't need to do the bottom magnet, it'll hold. And here's our Versamark. And I'm just going to cap that off. And we'll take this out of here. And before I go much farther, I want to wipe the ink off the stamp. So now I've got this stamped, and I'm just going to get some powder on here. We're almost out of powder here. So then we're just going to take this brush and just get rid of all these stray powder flecks, because we don't want those to set up on the card. I should have did the embossing buddy, this right here, and I forgot to do that before we stamped everything, so it would have been a lot easier off if we'd done that. When I did it yesterday, it was rather moist out, so I think that's why it worked better. When it's dry, it seems to have some static electricity and it hangs on to that powder. Okay, I think I've got that down. All right, let's see if we can't get this going again. That worked pretty quick. Let's see if that can't dry a little bit before we do anything else with it. So while that's drying, we'll go ahead and we'll glue this down. And we're going to use the Stampin' seal on this because of the heat gun, it kind of curled the paper a little bit. And so the Stampin' seal will get that all down real flat. And I just want to make sure I've got this down. And I should be using my silicone mat. Because the silicone mat will prevent the glue from sticking on your work surface, because you're protecting your work surface. So now we have a 1/4 inch border on this card. Remember, I'm using this Stampin' seal, so it doesn't want to give very well. That worked, and so I am going to use my embossing folder to just press it from behind, because I don't want to scrape over the top of the card. And that's press that all down really well. And now this is set up so we can put our card on here, and we're just going to use the dimensionals again, and we're going to use the large dimensionals, and we're going to put them in all the corners along the top and bottom and on the side, and one in the center. because I don't want this to give way when it goes through the rollers at the post office. So I'm just going to take the Take Your Pick tool and bring the pick part out again. And we're just going to go through here and stab into those paper backings. And then I will throw them all away in the garbage. There we go. And then we'll put this on here, again leaving a 1/4 inch round for a border. Okay, then I'm going to change this back to the paddle because I want to use some of those gems. I think we've got them right here, the champagne rhinestones. And I'm going to put 5 of them on here. So let's do a couple along the top part. Let's do one right down here. We'll do 2 on the bottom. So if we bring those other cards back in, see how we did on those. I hope you like this project as much as I did. Why don't you give it a try? Now, if you have enjoyed today's video, would you do me 2 favors? Click the thumbs up emoji, which means you like it. And would you share it on social medias with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you have any questions, be sure to contact me. I'm here to help in any way that I can. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out to me. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order, or would like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you'll need to go to joanssimplepapercrafts.stampinup.net. Bear with me a little bit longer because I want to let you know of the promotions going on right now. The July-December 2022 mini catalog is here. Share and celebrate every season of life with the brand new products from the July-December 2022 mini catalog. Find the perfect something for autumn, winter, spring, and every occasion in between. You can find a link to that catalog in the comments section below. It's time for one of the most exciting promotions and parties of the year, SALE-A-BRATION. From July 1st to August 31st, you can earn exclusive free products by shopping, joining, or hosting. Choose a free celebration product with every $50 or $100 you spend, and that's before tax and shipping. Reward yourself by hosting a party. Hosting a party is always fun during celebration. It's even more rewarding. On top of the usual host rewards you can earn toward free and discounted products, there's also no limit to the number of free celebration products you and your guests can earn. Plus, place a party or a personal order over $300, excluding shipping, and you'll also receive the exclusive Perfect Pomegranate stamp set for free. Do what you love. Share your passion for creativity and do more of what you love. Join Stampin' Up! As an independent demonstrator and build a starter kit by selecting $125 in products for only $99. Join now during celebration and we'll throw in the Making the Plans collection for free. It's the perfect resource for allocating your time, building your business, and memory keeping along the way. You can find the link to the celebration brochure in the comments section below. So yes, a lot's going on right now, and I hope you picked the perfect bargain for you. Mark your calendars. I'll be back next Saturday at 7 p.m. Central Time, and I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight. I look forward to next time. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.